My plan for if you wanted to use the Pythagorean theorem with base 120 is, instead of making a 120 by 120 grid, which seems a bit impractical, you could simply make a 60 by 60 grid in which each one of these marks represents two blocks. So you could do, for example, you could do 3.5 blocks maybe if you wanted, and that could represent a volume of 7. And then you could do some other number, like you could do 6 blocks, right? And then the hypotenuse at the because you got the a squared plus b squared equals c squared, could be over here, and it could represent, the sort of idea. Because if you think about it, something this precise, to some very small extent, you're kind of guessing in a way anyway. And this idea, AI agrees with it. In a base 12 system, you could use a 6 by 6 grid, each of which could represent a larger fraction than it actually seems to be. And this would work well if you wanted to make I don't know why the word Lauren came out of my mouth. If you wanted to use Erik Larson's approach for each one of the consecutive square root radii, and you don't have, big enough paper, you don't think, to make a, this is a base 120 version, so this is a 60 by 60, but if you, made his chart and you wanted to make a 6 by 6 grid, for example, you could do that, and it could still count as measurements in base 12, right? And then anything less than a half of a mark would be represented as a fraction, right? So that's just one thought I had about this type of math.